kick us off.
Thanks, Jen. Switching to Afghanistan, as of yesterday, there were about 300 U.S. citizens who were still there who wanted to get out by the deadline. Do you have an update on that number? Are we still looking at 300 waiting to get out? Is it down to 150? Is it down to zero?
Absolutely. Well, I know my State Department colleagues will have a more specific up-to-date number, but let me give you an update of where things stand at this point. Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan considering leaving the country since August 14th, we have thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed. This number will likely continue to grow as our outreach and arrivals continue, and we have been providing, as you know, regular updates to all of you on evacuations. The initial assessment, if we go back to August 14th, was that there were fewer than 6,000 Americans in Afghanistan who wanted to get out. So as we conveyed at the time, we knew that there could be an option, one, that people who had registered had already departed, or that people had registered had not deregistered, or that there would be additional people who came forward. And we believe there are still a small number. I understand you're asking for the exact number who remain. We're trying to determine exactly how many, and we're going through manifests and calling and texting through our lists, and we'll have more of a concrete number for you as soon as possible. Part of the challenge with fixing a precise number is that there are longtime residents of Afghanistan, as we've talked about in here, with American passports, dual citizens, the vast majority, who are still trying to determine if they want to leave or not, or have been over the last couple of days. In some instances, in many instances, that's because they have many family members there, but they have a range of reasons, and we've been working with them to assess that.
And then one other question on Afghanistan. The deadline is tomorrow, obviously. What can you tell us about what the president will do tomorrow? How will he mark this moment? Should the public, expect to hear from him tomorrow at some point after this is all wrapped up?
Absolutely, Darlene. Well, without getting into specific operational details, I know you're not asking me for that, but just to preface, I think you all can expect, and the American public can expect, to hear from the president in the coming days. I don't have anything to outline for you in terms of the specific date or time for that at this point in time. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen.
On August 10th, President Biden told me, quote, "I do not regret my decision to withdraw from Afghanistan." After watching the heart-wrenching dignified transfer yesterday, is that still his position? Does he not regret the manner in which this withdrawal was conducted?
Well, first I would say that the men and women who gave their lives, and the president attended, as you noted yesterday, to honor their service, honor their sacrifice, and had the opportunity to meet a number of the family members yesterday. That doesn't take the place of all of the progress all of the work that has been done to evacuate people. But I will tell you something that has been said time and time again by the brave men and women of the military who are leading this effort. These 13 individuals sacrificed their lives to save tens of thousands of people. And that is something that should be honored, should be valued, and we will continue to look for ways to do that.
So after meeting with the families of the fallen service members, he still sticks by his decision. He doesn't regret at all how this has played out in the last couple of weeks.
Well, of course, for any president, as I said last week, a day or a week where you lose 13 service members is the worst day or the worst week of your presidency. And that remains the case. And yesterday, and I've seen him since he, of course, went to Dover yesterday, he was deeply impacted. He knows firsthand that there's nothing you can say to a family member. There's nothing you can say to someone who loses a child that is going to fill the black hole. That remains the case. But I will say, if you just take a step back beyond yesterday, the president stands by his decision to bring our men and women home from Afghanistan, because if he had not, his view and the view of many experts and military out there is we would have sent tens of thousands potentially, or thousands at least, more troops back into harm's way, risking more lives and more people to fight a war the Afghans were not willing to fight themselves. Nothing has changed in that regard.
One more question. How was that interaction between the president and those families yesterday?
Well, I'm obviously not going to speak to private conversations between the president and the parents of service members who lost their lives saving others. He was grateful to be there with the families yesterday. and to honor both the heroic service and the incredible sacrifice of their sons and daughters. And while his son did not lose his life directly in combat, as they did, or directly at the hands of a terrorist, as these families did, that they're mourning, he knows, as I just said, firsthand, that there's nothing you can say, nothing you can convey to ease the pain and to ease what all of these families are going through. But he was honored to be there yesterday and to be able to spend some time with the families. Go ahead.